do I begin? Before the first video. Like, this is Game Boy Pocket and Light, a comparison. This is my first core video. So that Game Boy video was a remake. I have to go in my archive videos playlist. Also, God, I've made so many dumb stuff over the years. Please do not watch them. I think like from 2014 to 2016, I was just basically doing all these dumb videos where I put things in front of a camera, digital camera, and ramble about them. Somehow, people watched them. I don't know how many people watched them, actually. I don't think a lot of people did. But that's what happens when you only have a few thousand subscribers. And, yeah, okay. So, kind of fitting when I, started to, okay, let's actually make a scripted video. Like all those cool YouTubers I watch. Uh, I'll admit, like, a bunch of YouTubers are, like, the YouTubers I watch are certainly part of my inspirations for getting in on a thing. So I do hope, like, my stuff doesn't necessarily blend in too much with the rest, but I get, like, a bunch of influences from them. Sometimes I have different styles of videos. We'll touch on more on that when we get to them. But I do hope the stutter isn't gonna be a terrible thing, because okay, let me turn on captions, by the way. First time. This is actually not technically this was not my first scripted video. There was a dumb joke video I did when Nintendo announced that in E3 2016 they were only going to be showing Breath of the Wild. And I don't know if some people here remember this, but I made like a video where it's like, the new Nintendo NX is just a Zelda console. I don't know why I did like that. It's like a kind of it's a dumb joke, but it's not cringe as the kids would put it nowadays. But that's like my first time actually writing down a video and then filming it. But yeah, if there's like any questions you guys want to ask at any point, just type them in. But yeah, first time doing 30,000 views is not bad. Also, like, yeah. Alright. Let's just hop in. I'm gonna half react to this, half mention cool stuff about it. Does that video still exist? All my old videos are in my archive videos playlist. If you look hard enough. It exists in the playlist. But yeah. Here we go. This old intro was made in Flash, for those who were wondering. Dumb fun fact, but here we go. The Game Boy, Nintendo's first handheld to use interchangeable cartridges, and immediately took the world by storm when it was released in 1989. Do you do text-to-speech content? I did not do text-to-speech. I just put words on a screen. And then someday I just thought, hey, let me do a voice. Let me do a let's play, actually. Don't look up my first let's play. I wanted to do a let's play. It was 2014. Wait, 2014? No, not 2014. It was 2012. Was it 2012? Oh god, I forgot. It was 2012. I was 13 or 14. I don't know. I was 13 or 14. I wanted to do a let's play, which meant I had to speak for the first time. And because what I've learned from, YouTubers speaking English was like in that, the American accent that people do. Like, obviously what I'm the way I'm speaking right now is probably not, it's like sort of a half having an accent in there. Because usually when you're in Hong Kong, you hear people speak English, they speak like this, and it's a very monotone type of speech. And then I was like, oh, I want to be hip with the kids. I want to speak like an American. And then I started putting very cool accent, and then it just kind of tumbled down. And like I look back at it, and I'm like, God, what was I doing? My real voice was never like that, and I mellowed out, thankfully. Yeah, let's play Undertale. I Let's Played Undertale. That was my first time playing through it from beginning to end. I watched a Let's Play of it beforehand, which kind of ruined the point, but... Okay, the video was the main point. Oh yeah, I paused it to say that I was gonna mention that the audio in the first few videos are gonna be crappy because I did like a cheap USB microphone, not unlike the one that you're hearing me speak into right now. So, no budget. Here we go.
It was such a cool concept to people. You can finally take beloved game series like Mario and Zelda on the go. Oh, and also there's this weird new IP called Kirby, but who cares, it may or may not grow big in the future or something. Anyway.
Haha, funny rum joke. I'm gonna delete that. I'm gonna delete that link. I'm going to delete that link. For real. I'm leaving it up. I'm not. No. I mean, I haven't privated it yet, so it's still in the playlist. I posted it there for archival purposes. I'm proudly displaying that. Sue me.
The legacy and impact the Game Boy left on the gaming industry should be familiar to many. In fact, the original Game Boy was so successful that its lifespan reached nearly 14 years.
This was back when I didn't know how to do smooth transitions. I didn't learn to do that until much later.
The reason why the original Game Boy managed to last for so long could be partly attributed to the release of Pokemon in 1996, which basically became the second coming of the Game Boy, not to mention putting the final nail in the coffin of the Sega Game Gear, but also partly due to the release of minor hardware revisions, beginning the long trend of Nintendo handheld revisions. At least back then they didn't have confusing names like, you know.
I can't believe the 2DS XL got reviewed before this video? This video feels so old, but it's 2017. The Switch was already out. So, there's that.
The Game Boy Pocket was released in 1996 and was the last piece of Nintendo hardware designed by legendary designer Gunpei Yokoi after the failure of the Virtual Boy and before he left Nintendo. Like the name suggested, it had a smaller size, which meant it could fit in your pocket more easily, and had a larger and much clearer screen. Gone are the days of spinach green screens with motion blur on par with 2016 memes.
I'm gonna date this video immediately!
Instead, we finally have a crisp, black and white screen that is easy to see. But wait, there's more! In 1998, Nintendo of Japan came up with the glorious idea of adding an electroluminescent backlight to the Game Boy Pocket, and voila! The Game Boy Light was born. It was nearly identical to the Game Boy Pocket, except of course, it had a backlight, so kids around the world, I mean Japan, can finally play their Game Boy games under their bed sheets at night. Now, while I say both handhelds are nearly identical,
was that a mic change? That the audio quality just shifted there for a second. It is the same mic though, so I don't know what's up with that.
A list of differences between each handheld, and they both have their own pros and cons, which is why I'm going to compare them both in this video, and hopefully help determine which version will be more suitable for you, should you find yourself wanting to get a revised original Game Boy.
The actual audience watching these videos when they're actually trying to pick between the Game Boy Pocket and Lite are slim, I'd imagine. It's just a dumb video I made, I wanted to remake it. Here we go.
So here we are with the Game Boy Pocket and the Game Boy Light. I actually own both a gold and silver Game Boy Light, which are the only standard colors it was released in Japan. As for the Pocket, it was released in 7 different colors, so it definitely wins in the variety department. Before we begin, you might notice that there is some slightly ugly discoloration on my Game Boy Lights, and that's because these were second-hand units I've bought with a cheaper price from a flea market.
Okay, yeah. So, wait, frame back a little bit. But yeah, these were actually I got them for a relatively really good price for a Game Boy Light. Nowadays they can go pretty depending on condition obviously, but I believe the second one okay, so this is after this video was made, but recently the silver Game Boy Light that I had broke. It just broke, it just stopped turning on for no reason. Before the buttons didn't work, and then it just didn't turn on. It's not because of I opened it and didn't find anything wrong, and I kind of just but as you can see in the video, the body of the silver one obviously looked better than the gold one. So what I recall I did was that I basically did some shell swapping between the two, and took the broken one and kind of just sold it broken because I already got it for cheap anyway. So right now, all I have left is one single silver Game Boy Light that actually still works pretty well. So not bad, I guess. But
Mark.
rip though.
While the Game Boy Pocket is generally the more well-known revision of the original brick, the Game Boy Light was never released in the US, and thus is definitely the rarer of the two. While it's not Virtual Boy levels of rare,
This was before I got a Virtual Boy. I think I got a Virtual Boy like slightly later in the year. But I don't know. It's just kind of funny.
units complete in box can go up to around $100 on eBay, and that's not even counting the few special editions released, like the Famitsu Clear version or the Astro Boy edition. Alright, let's get to the physical differences. First off, on the back you can see the model numbers of the Game Boy Pocket and Lite are different on their labels. The Pocket has model number MGB001, while the Lite has number MGB101, which a similar case will occur of the frontlit and backlit Advanced SP models later on. Below the labels, you can see some pretty radical changes in the battery compartment. The Game Boy Pocket takes two AAA batteries,
You can tell like there's some mild never mind.
while the Game Boy Light takes two AA's instead, likely to compensate for the extra battery needed to power the backlight. And first, the battery cover of the Light has this weird groove on it, whereas the back of the Pocket is so smooth.
Fun. Okay. That was a dumb joke, but it worked. It was fine.
It sort of makes it more ergonomic.
It was 2017. Yeah, I understand. Also, this was before I showed my face, so
Better to hold in your hands, but when you put the two systems on a flat surface, the Game Boy Light will get propped up, which is weird to say the least. Also, this means that the battery life of the Light is indeed longer than that of the Pocket. Well, when you're running it with the light turned off at least. I'm not sure about the differences in battery life with the backlight on. On to the sides,
I could have probably just like, if I were to redo this core video now, I would just do a battery test. 2 fresh new batteries, like just do an in-depth review of both of them. I don't know what reason I would have to make it in the first place, but that's what I would have done.
Well, Light is slightly taller than the Pocket by around 4mm. It is also slightly wider and thicker according to official specs.
Did I just pronounce millimeters as millimeters? Okay.
But those aren't really noticeable differences. On the front, you can see that the logos are different. Obviously, the power light indicator is slightly altered, and the buttons on the Light have engraved letters on either the button or the system instead of just being printed on the system itself. Other than that though, the buttons handle virtually identically. One weird change to note is that the Nintendo logo is engraved differently on both systems. The external port, volume and contrast sliders, DC input and headphone jack have identical positions, but the power slider on the Light has an additional on-light toggle that turns the backlight on or off after you've powered it on. I can only imagine the pain of someone trying to turn off the backlight while playing, but accidentally turning off the whole system instead. God dang it! And now,
I don't know if that actually happened to me once. It might have done that. Like the power switch on the Game Boy Light is a little bit finicky, so like even if you don't fully snap it to the off position, sometimes it just turns off or resets if it's like a little bit rusty or something. That's how I would put it. I don't know.
Finally move on to the elephant in the room, which is the screen. The Pocket and Light share the same screen size and basically the same display if I recall correctly, as the backlight on the Light is actually just an extra layer on top of this display. Both screens look essentially identical, but I've heard that Light units have a bit of sparkling or stuff on the screen due to the added backlight layer, but personally I don't notice it. Also, the backlight on the Light is actually pretty darn good. It doesn't put strain on the eyes, even when you're playing in completely dark environments. And of course,
I don't know if the quality is just like that, or if it's just my camera. I don't know if it's like YouTube compression, or I did have it set to 720p. I don't think my camera's weird. Like, I forgot what camera I used to record these. I think it's actually the same camera that I used to record. No, was it? I legitimately don't recall. But yeah, I think it's either that or a super early camera. I don't know if it's YouTube compression. I don't know if it's YouTube compression doing it or something, but it kind of looks weird in here.
Off the screen of the Game Boy Light still looks very clear. Now, which version out of the two would I personally recommend? Well, recommending the Light over the Pocket is definitely a no-brainer, probably. But to be honest, during my casual use of the systems for gameplay, I rarely encountered a situation where I wanted to play the Game Boy, but my environment was too dark to allow me to do so.
I did try like using it on a car trip at night, actually. You know the meme where it's like, oh yeah, the game. kids these days will never know the feeling of playing the Game Boy in the backseat of a car going at night, and then you can only use the lights from the street post to illuminate your screen. I personally have never had that experience, but I did use a Game Boy light in a car at night, and it worked very well. Like, you can look at the screen. The backlight is legit. Actually very good.
Usually,
like, ship that overseas, and millions of children would have probably bought it.
it's fine with using a Game Boy Pocket outdoors because these things normally require a bright light to work compared to modern displays. Overall, both are great systems, but the Lite definitely has an edge over the Pocket with its better battery life and backlit display.
More like has a groove over the Game Boy Pocket because of the battery. Haha. Sorry. That's a joke I would have put in just now. Okay.
With how much the price of the Lite has inflated over the years, especially ones.
How much has the price of the Lite actually changed a lot since then? Like $90. I mean, $59, $58. That's like a regular. I guess that's like a regular price for the Game Boy Lite now. Don't think they raised too much since then, but you know, that's about the level I'd expect. 800. Oh, that's a limited one.
Inflated over the years, especially ones in good condition. I'd say going for a Game Boy Pocket isn't that bad of an idea either. It's still a humongous improvement over the original, so you'll find yourself craving some retro Game Boy action in the black and white aesthetic instead of pea green. But there is still one disadvantage to owning a Pocket or Lite over the original Game Boy though. They're not very efficient as murder weapons.
Aha! The captions. I don't know what to say to that. That's a thing.
Well, I guess that's my time here today. Hopefully you're able to learn a thing or two from this video if you're not that familiar with the Game Boy family. And I'll catch you guys later in another video. Until next time, MVBBY.
Oh yeah, I did get a Virtual Boy before making this video. Okay, yeah, that was like, oh yeah, this outtake is good. That was not supposed to happen. Oh my god, what? Yep. Yeah. But yeah, I actually did get a Virtual Boy before making making this video, apparently. I guess it's like around April-ish. I did tweet it on Twitter. Which console is the best for I don't want to say it because, like, am I allowed to say that, like, legally? But yeah, first core video. Kind of like straightforward to do a remake of an older video. I don't know if some of the points I said here I actually, you know, repeated in my older video that this was a remake of, but this is a decent start. 650 people liked it. Yeah. I mean, compared to my compared to my older videos, this was probably a miles better. So I'm not gonna look back on it and say like, "Wow, the production values on this thing," because that's not what I would say now. Like, no, I don't wanna do, like, you know, just crap all over my old stuff, because is there a value? Like, I do kind of like make core videos with the mindset that, you know, people can revisit it years down the line and still find it enjoyable. Joy-Con Gripper Pro Controller, another weird thing to make a video topic out of. And like, this blew up for some reason. I guess it's because I made it on at July, which is like, you know, Nintendo Switch hype season. Oh, I actually have ad block, but I don't enable on YouTube out of principle, and also because it messes with my video playback. I make money from ads. I feel weird installing ad block for YouTube. I have ad block. I just don't use it on YouTube. You can look here. I just didn't. I haven't allowed on the site. Safari is weird with this. But yeah, this blew up. I think like it was because it was like Nintendo Switch peak season, and then people were like flocking to this video to actually get my legitimate opinions on which controller accessory is better. Also, this was before Joy-Con drift became a apparent thing. So it's probably severely outdated by now, but we will watch it anyway.
Hey everybody, it's Akfamilyhome here, and today we're going to be talking about the Joy-Con, Nintendo's virtual ice cube simulators that Nintendo's new controllers for
That was
the
a good
Switch
joke.
that, as they say, give you total gameplay flexibility. You can swing them around with motion controls like baby Wii remotes, hold them separately and play while lying in bed.
I finally got to try something like this recently. Yeah, that's all I say. Took me this long, but like, my room setup is weird.
Give it to another player and then watch as they keep taking accidental screenshots with the capture button, or slot them.
Relatable. Being relatable is the most important. No, that's actually a legitimate issue I've had though. So, like back when it was a hype thing, I played 1-2 Switch with casual players. 1-2 Switch was actually very fun. Like, I just had like a bunch of family and friends, people who don't really get into gaming. You just get a Switch out of the hype, and then 1-2 Switch is actually a pretty fun game to play with them. So, I think I got my money's worth, but also because I didn't pay my own money to get that, I kind of convinced my parents to pay it for me, on the off chance that they'd enjoy it. So, yeah.
The Joy-Con grip, making it become a more traditional controller.
By the way, I've only had like 2 pairs of Joy-Cons. So you guys know in like recent pictures of my Switch, I have like atomic purple shell swapped Joy-Con controllers. So my launch Switch, the Switch I got day one, was a neon Switch. So one red, one blue, one orange, whatever you call it. They call it orange, right? Yeah, it's orange. One orange, one blue, and then I got an extra set, which was the opposite colors. So now I have like one set orange in the video, and one set of blues, and I still have them. And I shell swapped my orange ones into atomic purple ones, and these are the ones I still use today. I don't know why. Honestly, I do kind of want to like buy new Joy-Cons. I still have to use like the same pair, and they have drifted. They have indeed drifted, but like, I invested in some contact cleaner, and like, right now they don't drift. They haven't drifted in a while now. A pretty long time actually. My actual like new issue with the Joy-Cons is that when they're like attached to the console in handheld mode, and then I apply some pressure on the sides, they kind of occasionally disconnect and reconnect. And then I have to literally like do percussive maintenance, slap it a few times before the connection actually becomes stable. I kind of still deal with that for some reason. I don't know why. I'm just dealing with it because I think the atomic purple still looks cool. So I'm sacrificing usability for aesthetics. Please don't be like me. But yeah. So these 2 Joy-Con you see on screen right now, I'm still using them. Have you bought another Switch since the launch? I bought the new model. I bought a new model Switch. And the one I chose was a gray. But then I sold the Joy-Cons, the new Joy-Cons, and the dock to make some money back. Because by the time I bought the new Switch, I already had 2 docks and 2 pairs of Joy-Con. So, whoop. So, just sold the new ones to make some money back. Gotta... Yep. The gray ones look cool, though. I originally was gonna go for gray ones, but they didn't have any at launch. I think back when it launched, you could only find neon ones around here. And they were also insanely marked up, but let's not talk about that.
But is it really that traditional, considering Nintendo has also released a dedicated Pro controller for the Switch that at first glance does the exact same thing that the bundled Joy-Con grip can already accomplish? Well, not exactly, as there are definitely significant differences between the two, so without further ado, let's begin comparing their pros and cons. Thank you, have a great night. Keep in mind,
I shamelessly stole that joke. I know it's a common joke on the internet. I know a lot of comments were like, that pros and cons joke was super clever. I shamelessly stole it from the internet. I'm sorry. It works though. Why wouldn't I? I'm sorry if this ruined the magic, but this was not an original joke. Sorry. You can pretend it is.
I'm not taking the Joy-Con's functionality when held separately or sideways into account, as I'm simply putting the Joy-Con grip layout against the Pro Controller so that people who aren't sure if they should stick to the Joy-Con grip can learn more about the differences that the Pro Controller offers. Let's just get the similarities out
I'm not going to talk about that.
Both the Joy-Con grip and Pro Controller offer the same buttons: analog sticks, directional buttons, A, B, X, Y, plus, minus, L, Z, R, L, R, the capture button and the home button, as well as HD rumble and amiibo functionality. The only difference...
Okay. Was that like a Yarn Yoshi amiibo? I wouldn't drop a... Yeah, that was a Yarn Yoshi amiibo. I would not drop a heart amiibo on my controllers, no matter what.
The only differences here are how some of the buttons are laid out and the presence of the sandwich-eating sensor on the right Joy-Con. Okay, you probably already know the obvious differences between the two, so I don't really have to explain how the plus and minus buttons are shaped differently or something like that. Let's just get to the nitty-gritty. First of all, the Pro Controller definitely has a better button placement than the Joy-Con.
I don't know if I would make like a video topic like this now. I'm legitimately curious as to if I've actually offered some useful insight in this video, seeing as 7,000 people liked it. I don't know if my video is like the definitive Joy-Con and Pro Controller video, especially now that there's drift. I'm actually wondering if Neo was first. I mean, not a lot of people like can train. Like, so many people mentioned the pros and cons joke. I feel bad now. Not a lot of people went in here and typed the comments like, "Well, guess what? The Joy-Cons have drift now. Don't you feel bad?"
Grip, as it is designed as the traditional controller itself. With how the Joy-Cons have to be completely vertical, the button placement on the Joy-Con grip
That's
might
a
feel
valid
off-putting
point
to some if they're accustomed to a traditional controller. For me, however, I can use it just fine as a normal controller, the only nitpick being how the right stick might get in the way when I try to access both the Y and B buttons. Onto the buttons themselves, they are much larger on the Pro Controller, so you might want to take that into consideration if you have large hands, and the buttons are slightly less clicky than those of the Joy-Con. At first I was a bit worried, seeing I didn't like the mushy buttons on the DS Lite and original 2DS, but they're less mushy here and the larger buttons allow me to get a better grip on the buttons themselves. The D-pad on the Pro Controller obviously replaces the directional buttons on the Joy-Con and works really well. I've seen some reports about it not registering directions accurately for some people, like registering left and right as up instead, but so far I've had no issues with it.
I think later on I actually did like the fix for the Pro Controller where you like put tape on the D-pad contacts or something. Because I did eventually find out that if I like mash, I think it was when I was starting to play Tetris 99, and when you like shift the blocks left and right rapidly, it just accidentally presses up and then registers a hard drop. So I had to do like a tape fix. I'm still using the same Pro Controller, by the way. Like, these are all the controllers I have for the Switch, aside from the Switch Online ones. The clicky buttons, they're fine. I do think like, I think the best type of clicky buttons are like what you get on something like the new 2DS XL. Something like that. It's like a more flat style button, so it's not like it's having like, you don't need a lot of pressure to press it. I don't know how to explain it, but I would have vastly preferred if they did something like the original like Wii U gamepad, the mushy buttons on that, the soft buttons. I don't know what level the Switch Lite was on. I only tried it at a store once. I still kind of want to get a Switch Lite, but I think those are like very similar. DS I feel was a bit too mushy. Yeah, the original DS, the fat one, also had like clicky buttons, flat clicky buttons. Those were really nice, like the GBA SP style.
It's definitely better than the independent buttons on the Joy-Con if you want to play 2D games, but personally I don't find moving in 2D games that big of a problem on the Joy-Con.
This is a weird angle.
Because cue amazingly timed segue into the analog sticks. Now these are probably, in my opinion, one of the biggest differences between the Pro Controller and Joy-Con grip.
This aged well. I imagine someone watching this today would think I'm going to talk about drift right now. I don't go into drift at all because that was not a thing.
On the Joy-Con grip, due to the need for being portable, the analog stick is pretty tiny and only travels a short distance. While it might not be ideal for actual analog movement, it works pretty dang fine in and of itself, and it's even pretty great for 2D movement in side-scrollers, as snapping from one direction to the opposite is very quick, just like using an actual D-pad.
That's actually a good advantage. I do like the Joy-Con sticks for 2D games. Like, they're fine. Because you're not going to use the 4 separate D-pad buttons. So those for 2D platformers are actually completely fine.
Compared to other options like the directional buttons or the 3DS's circle pad, I think that this is the best analog stick for covering both 3D and 2D movement. On the Pro Controller, the analog stick travel is larger and similar to other traditional controllers, so it's not as good for 2D movement, although that's what the D-pad is for.
Hey yo, I'm just adding this extra bit in here to showcase some of the actual minor issues I've been having with the Switch Pro Controller. And that is when you flick any of the analog sticks in one direction, sometimes it registers the opposite direction when it goes back to the original.
AK discovers snapback in analog sticks for the first time. I've had people had to correct me in the comments, like, educate me about what this is. And this is like a regular, normal issue.
If I try to flick this analog stick right, you see sometimes the dot on the screen sometimes goes to the left side instead. And same, for example, if I flick downwards, it sometimes goes back up.
I forgot like what issues were made me notice this. I don't think there was any recent game actually that came out where I had to flick. Well, it's not Smash Brothers because this came out before Smash. In some Switch game, I had to like flick the analog stick, and that's when I realized it was like, I don't know, it's weird.
And it's not that big of a deal, like if I hold it and release it, it doesn't do that, but when I'm quickly scrolling through menus by flicking the analog stick, sometimes it goes back to a previous option. So it is kind of annoying, and I'm not sure if my controller is the only one that does this, so leave your comments below. I'm curious to see if anyone else is experiencing this problem. So yeah.
They certainly did leave comments.
That's the only problem I have with it, honestly.
There actually were additional problems that I had with the Pro Controller after this. Like, snapback is not that big of an issue now. But there were times I didn't get drift on my Pro Controller. I didn't get that. But like, you know, sometimes when you like go to the calibration screen where it shows you like you can move the controller in a circle, you move the stick in a circle. Sometimes you can see that the on-screen cursor doesn't actually follow the path of a circle. I don't know what to call that problem, but I've had that with my Pro Controller. And the way I actually fixed it was literally before I like took apart my controller and just tried to clean it as much as possible. I just kind of blew into it, and it worked, and it fixed the problem temporarily. But I literally just like blow into it for some reason, and it works. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what part of the stick causes that problem, but right now it's not too major of an issue for me. There was a while where that happened like pretty frequently, and then I like took it apart, took the Pro Controller apart, blasted it with like compressed air multiple times, and it seemed to do the trick. It's still working fine for now, so didn't need to switch to a new one for now. Yeah. I was pressing spacebar on the Discord client.
Oh, and let's not forget the shoulder buttons, which are definitely larger and more comfortable on the Pro Controller, especially with the L and R buttons, which are basically just thin strips on the Joy-Con grip. As a side note, I also wanted to mention that even though HD Rumble is present on
Mario Kart 8
Pro Controller, I feel that the effect is definitely much more stronger and noticeable in the Joy-Con grip, probably because there are 2 Rumble engines in that configuration instead of 1.
This is false, I believe. The Pro Controller has 2 HD Rumble engines. It doesn't only have 1. The problem is they're both in the center. There's a left motor and a right motor, but they're all in the center of the Pro Controller. And it's probably stronger if they're like in 2, the Rumble motors were in 2 separate controllers that you hold in 2 hands. So, wow, mistake. I think they were in the center. Wait, were they? No. Wait, no. No, they were in the grips. Yeah, I think it wasn't a grip. I'm okay. Yeah, I believe it wasn't a grip. But the Joy-Con rumble is definitely stronger. So yeah.
As such, rumble effects like the engine revving in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe feel much more
I feel like I'm the only person right now, only Switch player right now that still cares about HD rumble. Like a lot of people don't care about it anymore. I'm like, dude, you're not supposed to notice it is the thing.
Last but not least, the battery life. The Joy-Con have an estimated battery life of about 20 hours each, and to charge them you either have to buy the charging grip or battery pack sold separately, or attach them to the Switch itself while it's charging. The battery life is totally adequate, but let's be honest here, who wants to keep track of two separate battery meters, am I right? There is that slight possibility that one might run out of juice before the other after all.
I don't know if that ever actually happened to me. Funny.
And enter the Pro Controller with a staggering estimated battery life of 40 hours, thanks to it containing basically a 3DS battery. If you're using it normally, you could probably be able to use it for a month or more after a single charge. That's very impressive, and both the charging Joy-Con grip and Pro Controller charge via USB-C, which is the cherry on top of the sundae. So, what's the final verdict? Well, it goes without saying that if you're going to be playing the Switch in docked mode a lot, the Pro Controller is obviously going to be the better choice with its great ergonomics, large buttons and the like, but to other people, is it worth the $70 asking price when they already have the Joy-Con grip? Personally, I don't find the Joy-Con grip that bad if you just want something that sort of resembles a traditional controller. Heck, I only got the Pro Controller a few days ago and was perfectly fine with or without it.
Oh, I got it a few days ago before making this video? Okay. I guess it just like had a very big impressions on me, and so I just started to make this video.
But if you're one of those serious pro players who play for longer times...
Oh yeah, I got it for Splatoon. I think that was like... it was July, Splatoon came out, and like it was way better with a Pro Controller.
The bonuses offered by the Pro Controller are definitely worth it. And to be honest, a lot of it really comes down to personal preference. Some people might like the clickier buttons on the Joy-Con, some might prefer larger analog stick travel, etc. So in the end, it's really up to you to decide which one is more suited for you based on the small differences I mentioned and your regular playstyle. Well, that's about it for this video. I hope this can help anyone who's currently on the fence about upgrading controllers, and I'll catch you guys later when my next major video is complete. MVBBY.
I really used that as sign off once. I don't do that anymore, but like it was funny. Yeah, that was a decent conclusion to come to. I mean, that was kind of what I predicted. Rhythm Tengoku's origins, whatever you call it. This came out of nowhere. This was kind of like I was like, oh, I learned some interesting facts about Rhythm Heaven today. I might as well share them. And I did get together some of my friends at that time to sort of I sourced my fact research from Hobonichi. I think that's like the majority of what the facts come from. I just like got people to translate it. Got some help translating it. I'm not sure how accurate this information it is, but it's gonna happen.
Hey everybody, it's Akfamilyhome, and today is a very special day indeed, as the first installment in the Rhythm Heaven series, Rhythm Tengoku, was released 11 years ago today in Japan for the Game Boy Advance.
August 1st.
It was originally conceived as a training program for Rhythm, ended up being one of Nintendo's most notable and wacky side franchises,
the meme
spanning
clip.
Multiple platforms. And to commemorate this occasion, I'm going to be sharing some obscure facts and trivia about the development of the first game taken from a Japanese article stashed away on the Hobonichi website, which I'll put a link to in the description.
Oh, yeah, for those who don't know, Hobonichi is it's a news site, journalist, run by Shigesato Itoi, Earthbound man, and like, I'm guessing like he also had like a decent connection to Zunku, whoever you want to call it. I think it's Zunku. That's like how you pronounce it. Like Zunku and Iwata were like pretty good friends. And their cooperation is kind of one that led to Rhythm Heaven, similar to, Iwata partnering with Dr. Kawashima to make Brain Age and all that. It's kind of a very similar situation. But apparently Shigesato Itoi also knew them, so that's why we have this website with some developer secrets on Rhythm Heaven.
You're interested. Now, to my knowledge, this article was never fully translated, so I had to try my best using both Google Translate and actual help from people who know Japanese.
I deliberately said I used Google Translate, so I hope I didn't get anything wrong.
Get the following info as accurate as possible. Of course, it won't be 100% perfect, so while I'm confident about the accuracy, I still want to put out a disclaimer here, so please refer to the original article if you're interested and want to know more. Oh, and also a big thank you to my friends at the Rhythm League who will be helping as guest commentators throughout the video. With that out of the way, here's some Rhythm Tengoku development trivia you might not have known. To begin with, while Rhythm Tengoku was announced and released in 2006, development technically started in 2002 when lead designer and chief planner Kazuyoshi Osawa created a prototype of a drumming game for the Game Boy Advance.
The fabled Rhythm Heaven prototype. I really wish this this was a thing that got released. It would have been so cool, dude. I think this grainy video is the only footage we have of it. I'm not sure if that is it. But I'm guessing I'm not that sure. Enlighten me if there is actually more clearer footage of this that came out later on.
This would later evolve into the
Oh yeah, there's a screenshot. So that's cool. I think that was like that's like Nintendo headquarters in the background. So cool.
Rhythm minigames in 2004, and the drumming game was included in the final game in the form of a side mode. When the main designer of Rhythm Heaven, Tengoku, came up with the game's concept, he was heavily inspired by Brain Age, a brain training game for the DS released during the development of Tengoku.
Yeah.
Similar to how Brain Age was designed with different minigames to train people's brain skills and memory, Tengoku wanted Rhythm Tengoku to serve as a training program for the rhythmic sense of Japanese people, which he first called Rhythm IQ. This is why, unlike other rhythm games, Rhythm Heaven relies more heavily on audio cues instead of, say, quick reflexes. To train the development staff's sense of rhythm, Tengoku even had them take dance lessons to the game's soundtrack.
Me and the boys dancing to Remix 1!
It was also originally planned for Rhythm Tengoku to have a similar gameplay progression as Brain Age, where rhythm games are grouped into genres, testing specific aspects of rhythm, and having tests with progressive difficulty. Ultimately, they thought this mechanic would make the game too boring and monotonous, and thus they simply put the various rhythm games together, as they were all fun in and of themselves, similar to the assortment of microgames in the WarioWare series. The name of Rhythm Heaven, believe it or not, was actually born out of a mistake. During Tengoku's early days as a rhythm training program, it was called Rhythm IQ or RIQ by the development staff, after the term Tengoku used to describe rhythm sense. But halfway through development, the staff realized the name didn't convey the concept clear enough, and thus arranged a meeting to discuss the final name. During the meeting, the name Rhythm Tengoku or Rhythm Heaven was allegedly suggested by one of the staff members, and it was mutually agreed upon. However, it turns out the staff member didn't even suggest the name Rhythm Tengoku in the first place. It was supposed to be a much weirder name, but due to a possible slip of the tongue, it was misheard as Rhythm Tengoku instead. As for what the original intended name was, we may never know.
I'm not sure if this is like a mistranslation, but it would be interesting if it was real. Rhythm 10. How would you mispronounce it? I'm not sure. I don't know Japanese that well. It could be like something related to Nintendo, but you know, Tendo is the same. It's also heaven. Tengoku, Nintendo, Nintendo, whatever.
Remnants of Rhythm Heaven stays as Rhythm IQ can still be found in the internal sound files of Rhythm Heaven DS, Fever, and Megamix, where the abbreviation RIQ can be found. It is also possible that the Japanese name of the TV station in the ringside game, RIQ TV, is a reference to Rhythm Heaven's earlier name.
Hey.
Every Rhythm Heaven fan probably first knew about the game's main designer, Tengoku, from his name being featured occasionally on the title screen and credits, but really nothing more than that. The reason was that Tengoku did not want his name to be prominent.
Oh yeah, the two people I featured in this video doing code commentary were my mutuals, and they're still doing stuff. You could follow, like, I think they've changed their ads somehow, but like
featured in the game like a brand, even though he was well known in the Japanese music industry. He feared that people would simply view the game as if
I think they're in the server, so shoutouts. I know they've kind of probably looked back on this video, kind of like because I think they were a bit younger than me when I asked them to get on and do some like cool commentary. But I think it turned out well at the end. It wasn't too bad.
Tengoku merely supervised it and is inserting his name into the product for exposure, when in reality he was as firmly involved with the game's designs and components as much as the rest of the staff. Despite this, he still wanted to feature himself in the game in some way or fashion, except without using his actual name or appearance. The solution then was to make a character that is based on Sengoku instead. The suggestion he gave the development team eventually began the drum samurai that guides you through the tutorial at the beginning of the game. So yes, Sengoku is technically canon in the Rhythm Heaven universe.
Meme.
Here's another random fact about Sengoku. His first video game machine was a Game Boy Advance, and whenever he plays games on a handheld like the Game Boy Micro or a Nintendo DS, he never holds it in his hands but instead sets it down on a table to play, probably due to being accustomed to working with keyboard and drum machines. The development staff has jokingly stated that he'll probably be playing his future handhelds the same way as well.
Obviously, being the first game in the series, Rhythm Tengoku has had its fair share of scrapped game ideas. One notable unused game that the dev team mentioned was one in which you swung a stick around. You press the button to swing it and then release the button to return to the original position, and then had to perform these two actions to the rhythm. However, the development team feared it would be too difficult for players to learn how to release a button to the beat, so
they're just bonking people the game.
It was scrapped. A long list of other unused game names in Rhythm Tengoku was also mentioned. Notable names include Rhythm Batting, Drum Robot, Rhythm Cooking, Heartbeat, Rhythm Gymnastics, Policeman, and Tanuki and Monkey. There is a slight possibility that some of the unused ideas later made their way into future Rhythm Heaven games.
Even
Funny. That's funny because that was not Rhythm Heaven. I gotcha. I fooled you all. It's not Rhythm. We don't talk about that anymore.
Games that were decided to be included in the game went through changes in development, most notably in their titles. Showtime, a game where you hit the ball for penguins to catch, was originally called Essa, or bait. The staff found that giving a ball for penguins to catch resembled the act of feeding them food, and thus gave the game this preliminary name, but it didn't fit well with the final product, so it was changed.
Huh.
Some early names for other games were also very literal, like Nightwalk, which was originally called 4-beat keeping, because you had to keep the beat, which was in 4/4 time. In the Rhythm Tweezers game, you pluck hair off of onions to the beat, but during development, the game originally featured the faces of the development staff instead, and you had to pluck hair off of their heads. The team scrapped this idea as they thought it was too gross, and graphic designer Kotei Kiuchi came up with the onion design after hearing the Arabian-styled music and was reminded of Arabian mosques, which were shaped like onions. During pre-release testing, the development team found that the Love Machine side mode, in which one presses different buttons to string together a love confession, was very popular among female students in elementary and junior high school. The side mode was also supposed to feature the song Love Machine from the female idol group Morning Musume, formed by Zunku himself in 1997. However, the idea was scrapped,
that is allowed in this house
due to legal issues.
This Morning Musume.
Rhythm Tengoku was the final first-party Nintendo game released on the GBA, at a time when the DS Lite was already in the market. Thus, near the end of development, Tengoku was originally planned to be ported to the DS long before a DS sequel was planned. However, the porting process would require extra effort and time, and as some Japanese artists have created songs for Tengoku, porting the game would mean delaying the time that the artists would get to officially release their work. Thus, the porting idea was dismissed. And that's all the facts I have for today. The idea of a rhythm game that actually put more emphasis on rhythmic synths and audio cues instead of visual ones proved to be a moderate success in Japan and gave birth to the Rhythm Heaven series as we know it today. And these development tidbits really made me learn a lot more about the series' origins and reminded me of why I loved Rhythm Heaven in the first place, so hopefully you got to learn some new things from this video as well. Anyway, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go play some Megamix to celebrate the series' anniversary, so I'll catch you guys later. MVBBY.
Yeah, that was nice. I mean, it was mostly just facts, but those were good facts. Those were solid facts. Can you believe this? Though the only Rhythm Heaven themed core video I've made on this channel. I don't know if I were going to make another Rhythm Heaven video, what it would be. I have no idea what it would be. I do kind of want to cover River Heaven a lot more though, because I'm a fan of the series. I'm just not sure. Like, I made a video on a WarioWare game, and I was thinking of possibly doing one on WarioWare Gold as well. We'll get to Smooth Moves when we get to that. I don't know how much time we have left to watch the other stuff, but we still got some time. But there's a decent-ish fact video. Now, okay, this next one is really where things get interesting. Old Mario Flash games. Okay, this one is fun. This one was very fun, as you can tell from the view count and the number of likes. This is probably one of my most viewed videos. This is one of my most viewed videos. It passed 500,000 views. For some reason, this is a very good video topic to talk about. Yeah. It was fun to make. A lot of cool stuff. Like, probably legitimately, like, my first time trying to put funny stuff into a video. And it's kind of like a milestone in a way, I think. I originally toyed with doing a lot more. I was thinking about doing a sequel to this for the longest time. Either just more Flash games in general, or I was thinking about maybe taking a look at official Nintendo Flash games. So like the official games that Nintendo made. I don't know if that topic is already taken. I'm pretty sure it has been. I don't think it's been this long and people haven't... There's definitely more people that have already talked about Mario Flash games at this point. But this was a fun video to make. I'm very sure. Even though it was the first time I had to write an entire long script about multiple games, play through all of them, record footage. It's kind of like the first time I had to do all that stuff for one video, which is a learning experience. You can't have it. You gotta take it. But yeah. There are Nintendo Flash games. You don't know. Skillux, a Mario 64 ROM hacker. They preserved a few Nintendo Flash games a while back, and I think since now Flash is dead, some of the Nintendo games have also been preserved through Flashpoint or something, whatever the Flash alternative it is. There's a bunch of Flash games they did to market their games and I thought it would be funny to look at them. Interestingly, I think I looked at, well, I guess the Play Nintendo video was kind of like a spiritual successor to the idea. There was some games in there. Not exactly Flash games, but games. Online games. Let's just hop right in because this video is long. I'll just talk about my thoughts whenever we get to relevant parts.
Hey yo, before we begin, a quick shout out to Toxic Geek, who I commissioned to create the music for the glorious new intro you're about to see. So go check his stuff out. I've put some links in the description below. Alright, here we go.
The new intro! I was very proud of this, just saying. Kind of there's a reason this is still the basis for the later ones, but I really liked how it turned out. It's a huge step up from the Flash intro I had for 4 years.
So while I was cleaning the house the other day, I stumbled across this 1GB USB stick that I used to carry around years ago.
You're like, why are you carrying a USB stick around years ago? And you gotta understand, it was the early 2000s. I was in elementary, and having a USB stick was the coolest thing. Because you could finally carry files around with you, and your elementary school has computers. You can put Flash games on your USB, and then you can plug them at school and play Mario games. When I learned to download Flash games offline, that was a huge revelation for me. Dude, I used to have a necklace, and I wore a USB. I wore it like a necklace. I'm pretty sure I used to do that. There was a work USB, and I had one for games. This is the pink one I had for games. I still have the old ones. I still have the majority of the ones that have not broken yet. Were websites blocked on my school? I don't think it was. It was very free. In recess, you could go to the library or computer room, and you could actually just play games there. No one's gonna stop you. As long as you don't make any noise. and I just put like Flash games on here. It's just super easy.
And I found that it contained many flash files for different online Mario fan games, probably so I could play them on a school computer or something.
Yeah.
Now these definitely bring back memories, but
So like, I know like some people in the comments were like, "Oh, you missed this game and you missed that game," but no, I did not like. all the games you see in this video were just ones I found on my USB, and I kind of just like wanted to share my thoughts on them because those were the ones that I mostly grew up with. So yeah.
I wanted to see how well these games have held up, and whether or not some of the games have aged over the years. Spoiler alert, most don't, but hey, I figured you guys might want to get a taste of these mediocre Flash games, whether you feel nostalgic for them or just want to laugh at them,
background.
So there we go. Now I know you guys just want to take a look at the bad stuff, so let's just get the good ones out of the way first. First on the list is the original Super Mario Flash, and
Classic.
has a generic name, I think it's one of the very first decent Mario Flash games. It's basically what you'd expect, a bare bones version of Mario with a regular running, jumping, and fireball throwing, and it has a nice little single player campaign, but this game actually controls pretty well despite only using the arrow keys and the spacebar. The physics also feel pretty tight, and every action from hitting blocks to kicking shells definitely replicates the originals pretty well. There's even a level editor where you can manually lay down tiles to create a level of your own and save them via notepad codes. I remember having a lot of fun making these levels as a kid, and it definitely shows.
Wow, look at these cool levels. I still have these, obviously. Select the right one. Run, man. Great names. Maths lesson. Lakitu battle. Inside the castle. Twisted World 1-1. Everyone made a World 1-1 remake in these. I think it'd be cool to like do a stream where I just like run old Mario Flash games and then just play through custom levels. I have both custom levels for Mario Flash and Mario 63 saved. Would be really fun to revisit them.
Yeah, that seems about right. Now some people in the audience may recognize this next one.
Oh, MF means Mario Forever. I played that game. It was a trip. If you guys don't know about that game, that's MF means Mario Forever, and it's a trip.
Super Mario 63, which if you haven't played this game yet, please do.
I still stand by this. I want to replay this, actually. It's been so long since I've played this, and like I still have very fond memories of it. God, like I wish I could say more about this game in this video. I didn't say like a lot about this video. Let me just let old me do the talking.
Probably one of the best Mario fan games out there, and I'm honestly surprised that this was all done in Flash. For the uninitiated, Super Mario 63 basically adopts the free-roaming gameplay of Mario 64 into 2D, and also throws in FLUDD from Mario Sunshine, because why not? The story, while simple, is still slightly darker than the official games. In the distant past, the powers of tyrants who ruled the Mushroom Kingdom were locked by an ancient hero and sealed in the Orb of Power, which is now guarded by the Toadstools using the power of the Shine Sprites. Back in the present day, Bowser wants to get his hands on the orb, and so he crashes a surprise party for Mario, kidnaps the princess, and scatters the Shine Sprites throughout the land. So it's up to Mario to gather the Shine Sprites by venturing into paintings at the castle a la Mario 64. And yes, this is a full-scale adventure, and every course in Mario 64 is accounted for here, with their own unique shine to the star coins to collect, as well as a ton of secrets hidden in the castle itself. It's just really fun to explore and find everything this game has to offer. There's even a level editor. It's just really fun to explore and find everything this game has to offer.
One thing I super like about this game is just all the hidden passages in the castle. Like, imagine like playing this game for the first time. I just found this hidden passage in the walls. Like, you found the secret passageway of secrets. The castle in Mario 63 is like a labyrinth. I think I posted that in Discord a while back, but like I gushed about it in Discord a while back. But I don't know. It's just kind of like you know how like some people were like, oh, when I played Mario 64 as a kid, I was like super like I was awestruck by all the secrets that you can find in the game. Like when you remember when you discover Shifting Sandland for the first time, there's like a blank wall, and you don't think you can jump into it, but actually you can, and it like blows your mind. That's like the feeling I got while playing Mario 64. But substitute the game with Super Mario 63. I don't know which game I played first, but Mario 63 is kind of like the first time I was like, Dude, I'm exploring a real place and unlocking all its secrets. I really should replay this game.
There's even a level editor in this game too, for Virtual Boy's sake. Trust me, if you haven't played Super Mario 63 yet, you're doing yourself a huge disservice.
Fair on a pet. That's all I said about the game. I should have said more.
That's it, the only 2 games out of the ones we're going to look at that I would classify as great. I'm kinda sorry for skimming over them, but that's probably not what you're watching this video for. Here come the mediocre / terrible fan game.
You don't know our god, the Virtual Boy? You don't know the meme? Guys, he doesn't know the meme. It's a classic. The first... We'll get to that.
Why don't we start by playing a Flash version of a beloved arcade game, the classic Mario Bros.
Oh, this.
Oh, you can play with Captain Lou Albano as Mario in this game for whatever reason. Well, it's Mario Bros. Alright.
10 out of 10.
It functions pretty fine, even though it's not that well polished presentation wise, and there's even a 2-player mode, so if you don't have an official copy of Mario Bros. Nearby, then this may serve you just fine. I also kind of like how there's a practice mode where you just dodge barrels from Donkey Kong. Pretty nice touch. Alright, next up we have Super Flash Mario Brothers. Well, of the many knockoffs of Super Mario Flash, they just attempt to put Mario gameplay into Flash and nothing more. And it doesn't really pull that off really well. Mario moves like he's skating on ice all the time, and it just squishes.
I love how you can guess the game's physics based on this footage. You can feel it based on the footage. This game was jank.
Goombas instead of bouncing off them like you normally would. Also, the blocks in this game don't really detect your hits that well. And you can't backtrack for whatever reason. It's cool. Okay. Yeah, this game is just not that polished in general. Let's just move on since I don't know what else to talk about it. Next up, New Super Mario Bros. Flash. Let's see what this game has up its sleeve.
Let's go!
Oh, heck yeah.
Just directly uses graphics
Turn
from
that
Super
up.
Mario Brothers, so there's that. The rest of the presentation just feels off, probably because the levels here are just bland, uninteresting, and not Mario-y. Also, the only enemies here are piranha plants, and Mario has an actual health meter instead. Okay, that's a thing piranha plants can do now, I guess. Anyway, yeah, the controls also feel kinda shoddy in this one. And the music just cuts itself off. Sure, the second portion of the level has more gimmicks like moving platforms and invisible blocks, so that's pretty neat. Okay, that should not have counted as a hit, by the way.
More cats. I gotta pay to... No.
Hit, by the way. Whoops, well, lost life due to my own stupidity. Oh, well, apparently not.
I think this, like, I legitimately just found this on accident.
And that's the end of the game. Good job, Josh Anderson. You tried your best at the time. And if
Oh, wait. Yeah. So Josh Anderson made this. I wonder what that guy's doing now. That guy put his username in there. Like, honestly, he's probably off making some cool games. I'm gonna look that up on Google real quick. He is on DeviantArt. I don't think he... Yeah, he's just doing art on Deviant. Okay. Wait, he is on Twitter. Is he on Twitter? No. Oh, he is on Twitter, but he hasn't posted since 2011. Oops.
And thank you for putting this giant pit in the end so I can jump in and see absolutely nothing happen. Alright, next. Now, Mario Star Catcher 2 isn't really a Mario game per se. You can only move and jump in this game, and the objective is to get to the star at the end of the level, but all you do is basically avoid enemies and solve simple puzzles. There are coins and lives, but there's no power-ups and brick breaking, and you can't even jump on the dang Goombas. The physics—
I love the tiling. Also, apparently I played this game quite a bit for some reason.
Collision detection are also pretty rough. Most of these Mario Flash games don't give you a choice between running and walking, so you basically move at a decent speed on your own, and in Star Catcher 2 you can turn pretty fast too, leading to some pretty erratic movement.
Melee!
By the way, the moving platforms don't move you along with them, that's just terrible game design. The presentation is also pretty bare, there's a lot of floating tiles and oversized sprites all over the place. Whoa, geez, Banzai, slow down a bit there, buddy. I think that with some pretty interesting mechanics and puzzles down the line, this could be a decent fan game if more polish was given to the presentation and physics. I tried to see if I could beat it, but lost all my lives in this giant labyrinth of enemies who were probably doing drugs. I mean, look at them. Next up is Super Mario Flash version 2. Where's version 1 then? Is it the original and this game is just trying to leech off it? Yeah, maybe.
Who here recognizes this game? This game scarred me. This game scarred me, dude. I don't know if I'm supposed to, like... I'm putting this game on my channel apparently. I have not been demonetized. I have not been demonetized. I'll just say that right now. For the rest of you, welcome. Hop in, enjoy the ride.
So once you start the game, you end up in a tutorial area of sorts where you can just move around, grab coins, and the game teaches you about this manual kick move that's only used in the final boss for some reason. Well, might as well demonstrate by kicking this shell towards the Match Koopa. Okay, he's dead. So the first stage, Goomba Valley, is your typical grass level, and oh! I guess I'm just sullying the landscape with the blood of my enemies. Moving on. Yeah, that's pretty bland in here, there's no actual blocks to—
That was a nice, like, mic pot right there. Good.
Koopas die in one hit, you have a health meter. This game is barely trying to imitate Mario aside from the presentation, I guess. After a very short walk, you get to a room full of Goombas and then face off against a bigger Goomba that you stomp multiple times. Yay! Alright, he's dead. The next level, Pipe City, is a stage that... hey, can we try that again? The next level, Pipe City, is a stage full of pipes.
God, that... This 2000s. This perfectly encapsulates the 2000s.
Can't actually go into, so it's merely the same basic platforming challenge with different aesthetic.
For kids.
Afterwards, you're into a fight with a giant piranha plant where you have to jump on its head. It's easy to avoid getting hurt if you just keep jumping all over the place. You know, for a second there, I thought it was gonna explode with blood all over the place, but guess not. And finally, the final level, Bowser Pass, which is literally a linear hallway with obscuring walls and a ton of Goombas and Koopas. There's also big Goombas which die in 2 hits instead of 1, so hooray for variety. Also, the game just sorta glitched out here and let me pass through all the regular Goombas without getting hurt for some reason.
Oh!
Anyway, after this boring hallway, we finally get to face off against Bowser by repeatedly kicking a shell at him as taught to us in the tutorial. Bowser either shoots fireballs towards you or makes them appear in the lava, and they're easily predictable. You only have to wait for the shell to cool down for some mysterious reason after kicking it. Anyway, after this epic battle, we finally defeat Bowser and rescue the princess.
Up next is a very classic cutscene.
Oh, sure, we're going with that classic YouTube poop vibe here, that's a welcome alternative.
Masterpiece. Am I allowed to show this? Am I allowed to show this? It's comic mischief. Cartoon violence. No, I posted this on YouTube, come on, it's fine. Like, whatever. Anyway, this is kind of like a good reminder that the internet is weird. Just like kind of weird place if you when you're a kid looking for Mario Flash games, and there's more where that came from.
There's also a version of this game with a Halloween aesthetic, but aside from that, it's the same level layout, so I won't talk a lot about it here.
Oh, the Halloween version is actually family friendly, I'm pretty sure. I don't know what the ending was, but
Up next is Super Mafia Brothers, where Toad is excited about
for kids.
Something, Bowser is dead, and Mario has fallen asleep after presumably watching a film about the...
Okay, yeah. I did not recognize the TV. I think it was The Godfather. And, I apologize for my ignorance.
mafia and imagines being a mafia soldier in his dreams. Okay. Well, do you like Mario but with guns? If yes, then this is the game for you. Sorta.
10 out of 10.
It's your basic Mario platform level with the ability to shoot at Goombas and Koopas as well. There's also a run button in this game which is pretty neat, but without using it you gain very little vertical momentum when you jump, which leads to times when you have to make a running jump to move on, and then risk bumping into off-screen enemies because they're jumping all over the place. The game's one single level also looks pretty weird. Looks like someone just drew up a bunch of geometry in MS Paint. Anywho, a bunch of identical set pieces later and we come across Bowser, who's guarding a money battle and he's dead. Well, let's just grab the money bag, finish the level, and...
What was that?
Okay. Next, we have Luigi's Revenge Interactive, brought to you by the same people who made Super Mario Flash version 2, except this time around you play as Luigi instead. The controls are the exact same, with a kick move being used again for the final boss. The first level is once again pretty standard, although I think the presentation...
So this is a sequel. And the version I'm playing here was actually an outdated version of the game, because this is the one that I have saved offline. There was a more updated version with an intro cutscene, which is kind of like, I think it's somewhere along the lines of like Bowser killed Mario, so Luigi's getting revenge or something. I think basically Mario's dead. This is Luigi's getting revenge. That's like classic Mario story in the 2000s. Like that's what you're getting.
Here has definitely improved since Mario Flash version 2. Nearly every enemy still dies in one hit though, but I still think that, oh, we're already at the boss now. Wow, that was a short level. The first boss is a giant porcupuffer which attacked by hitting it, I guess. It also has this random spin attack that is way too fast and has a way too large hitbox that it becomes nearly impossible for me to react to it. I actually ended up dying once to this boss.
Funny.
Alright, finally I have that over with. The next level is a castle level already, strangely enough, with bony beetles and dry bones that just die in a hit once again. There's also a mushroom that refills your health meter, so that's cool. There's a bit of platforming, as well as Rexes that take 2 hits to kill. Some more enemies, and that's the end of the level. I didn't even edit the footage, that's how short the level is.
Yeah, I was like gonna point that out.
Anyway, the boss here is a Thwomp, and you have to alternate between hitting the 2 switches so you can damage it via bullet bills. Definitely much easier than the Porcupuffer in my opinion. Next level. So we enter Bowser's castle and with an auto-scroll this time around, so it's nice to see some variety here, even though the levels are miserably short.
Wow.
Alright, the final Bowser fight is
mismatch.
terrible. For a moment I was stuck figuring out exactly what to do. There's nothing here for me to kick towards him. After dying and consulting the built-in strategy guide, I was told you have to jump up and kick the fireballs Bowser shoots out in mid-air. How was I supposed to learn that? Furthermore, doing it is a frustrating chore in and of itself. There's
He didn't kick the fireballs towards Bowser. Great game design.
wheels flying all over the place and it's so hard to even hit the fireball while simultaneously kicking it at the same time. You can even get hurt by the fireball when you kick it. That's just terrible, frustrating design. I just barely made it. Anyway, we defeat Bowser and that's it. So what was Luigi seeking revenge for exactly? I don't know, it's probably revenge on Bowser for not kidnapping the princess in the previous game or something. As a side note,
Yeah,
there's
I'm pretty
also
sure
a
it's
mode in
like
the game
Mario.
called Toad Massacre, which should just speak for itself.
Gaming! Yeah.
Moving on, we have Super Mario Bounce, a puzzle platformer where Mario constantly bounces, and you have to get into the goal under a maximum number of bounces. It's a pretty neat idea, and you can also pick up different weapons and tools along the way to use against enemies which you can't jump on.
Okay, yeah, so this is the Mario Bounce game. I kind of find it funny how they like wanted to use the jump sprite instead of how to use the regular standing sprite instead of the jump sprite, considering all you do in this game is jump. But okay.
Create temporary platforms. However, with the need to juggle multiple tools, avoid enemies, and get to the goal in a limited number of bounces, I think the bounce limit could be a bit more forgiving since it's already hard enough to keep track of the tools you have, and you often end up losing lives because you bumped onto an enemy, and you only have a small amount of lives to begin with. I think this game would benefit a lot more from removing the life system altogether to further encourage experimentation and trial and error. But with how it functions right now, I basically lost motivation to continue after getting a game over on the stage, which requires you to put the temporary platforms in a precise location to get to the goal. Like I said, this game feels too strict and complicated for
It's an
me to get
interesting
maximum
premise, I'll
enjoyment
say
out
that.
of, but the potential is definitely there.
Yeah.
Last but not least, we'll end on what's also one of my favorites, Tupertario Trotters. The game begins in everyone's favorite World 1-1. You have your classic Mario platforming, but then a wall stops your progress and you're taught by this latitude to switch games by pressing the spacebar. So we do that and oh, we're playing Tetris now. Okay. So the rest of the game is pretty straightforward. You can switch between Mario or Tetris mode. And you can
kind of how I opened the video by saying like, those are the two games that I would classify as great, but then there's like this game at the end. I don't know if that was a mistake or I deliberately saved it at the end so I can have something good to show, but
for Mario to jump across or block enemy paths with in an auto-scoring level. The two games have their own score displays. You gain points in Mario Bros. By doing the usual block hitting and enemy stomping, and you gain points in Tetris by dropping blocks and clearing fakely defined lines. I'm still not sure how that works.
I think that's actually like, yeah, I was wondering how the line clearing works. I think it has something to do with like the patterns on the background.
And clearing fakely.
So if you clear like one line within like a section of the screen, then it clears the line. I think that's how it's supposed to work.
Find lines. Yeah. I'm still not sure how that works since it appears that clears only occasionally appear when I form long lines of blocks. I imagine this would be a great gameplay mechanic for people who want to rack up high scores, as it definitely proves to be an interesting challenge to manage both game modes at once. Anyway, once the pretty darn long level is over with, we clear the level by hitting the flagpole and the castle is gone. And you have 99 seconds to build it from scratch using the Tetris blocks, all the while a pipe constantly drops Goombas for Mario to defeat. You don't necessarily have to fill in the castle completely as evidenced by my subpar Tetris building skills, but successfully completing it perfectly will gain you bonus points at the end. After you complete the castle, your total score gets tallied by your Mario and Tetris scores, lives remaining, and whether or not you built the castle perfectly. For those who like to rack up scores, I imagine this would be an interesting game to replay. Overall, this game definitely has an interesting concept, so do check it out if you have the time.
It's nothing to say here, but it's a cool game.
So that's it for the Mario Flash games I have on here. Some are good, some not so much, but this has definitely been quite the nostalgic trip for me, and hopefully for you too if you've coincidentally discovered some of these games a long time ago. And if you've never heard of these games, you should give them a try. I try and put links to the online versions of these games in the description below.
Oops. Rip Flash. This is so sad.
Well, that's my time here today, so until next time, MVBBY.
Here we go!
Yeah, Mario 63 is good. Don't play that game. There are some games that I didn't like, didn't list in here. If you like look carefully at the game list I put at the beginning there are some, I'm gonna take a 1-minute break before we move on to the video. No, the next video is the Kirby art book. It's okay, we got time. Yeah, we can. The next video is the Kirby art book. We gotta do that too. It's Kirby. But yeah, if you look at the intro, there are some like you can see that there are some I didn't miss. Like there was Infinite Mario. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but Infinite Mario was kind of like, I'm not sure. It was supposed to be like a. Was it supposed to be like a Mario Flash game with like randomly generated levels? I think that was what it was, but it was like a decentish like Mario fan game physics-wise. Name That Mario song is very straightforward. It literally just plays a song and then you have to guess it. Mario Movie Maker was one I actually was gonna put in the video. It's like you know, it gives you a whole bunch of Mario sprites and you can drag them around and then record their movements to make an animation. Which was fun, but I don't know. I feel like it got a bit too complex for me to like cover it adequately by the end, so that's why I didn't choose to do it. But yeah, that is old Mario Flash games. Overall, like a solid look. I probably would have like decentish jokes. I mean, most of it was like, oh, this thing doesn't behave like the thing in the regular Mario game. Did you know that Meme Run has a sequel? We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that when we get to that. I will. But yeah. Apparently, a lot of people agreed with me. Also, a lot of people talking about Mario Combat. Mario Combat as a game I missed. A lot of people saying that. Apparently, a lot of people shared. Yeah, Mario Movie Maker. Some guy mentioned, like a lot of people mentioned, like, oh, you missed this game, you missed that game. That's why I was kind of, oh, I should do like a sequel to this video. And then I just cut off like, oh, it was gonna be in my plans, and then Flash died, and maybe I might still do it someday. Because it is an interesting concept. If it hasn't been overdone already. I think it hasn't. But yeah. That is old Mario Flash games. I mean, it's still one of my most viewed videos, so clearly I did something right. I'm decently proud of this one. Kirby art book review. Yeah, let's chill out with some Kirby.
This video is affiliated with Kirby Informer, the definitive stop for Kirby news and content. More information at the end of this video.
They're still around. They're a cool Kirby fan site. There's some people there. They're cool dudes. They're not sponsorship, we're just affiliated with them.
At this point in time, what Nintendo fan hasn't heard of Kirby? Ever since Sakurai created him in 1992, Kirby has proved to the Japanese audiences that a simple puffball can still be a great platformer star, and to American audiences that it can be super hardcore.
Oh look, he's a cutie. Is the guy.
Anyway, this
That's
year
good. No, okay.
marks the 25th anniversary of the super tough Pink Puff, and Nintendo has really been
Kirby's 30th anniversary is next year. Surely they're gonna have good plans for that.
going all out with the festivities, headlined with the announcement of Star Allies, a mainline game for the Nintendo Switch, 2 Planet Robobot side game expansions, and a full game spin-off title for the 3DS, tons of events and merchandise in Japan, and of course, a special art book, the Kirby art
God,
and
like the 25th anniversary of Kirby was like so good. Like some people might say, "Oh, Star Allies was bad," but like, God, it was so good.
collection, which we'll be looking at today. Unlike the 20th anniversary encyclopedia which came before it, this book focuses less on chronicling every enemy or character, etc., and instead puts the artworks in the spotlight, which is more befitting of being, an art book.
So, back when I made this video, the art book was only available in Japan, and since then it has been localized by Dark Horse Comics, I believe that's what they're called, and I think the localized version is also actually pretty good because I picked up both the Japanese and localized versions of the Mario Odyssey art book, and the English version has substantially more content compared to the Japanese one somehow. And so I don't know if the English version of this book was actually better, but for being an art book, the Japanese one wasn't bad at all.
So let's begin. Before we dive in, we should probably take a look at the physical book itself. It definitely looks nice, with a clean looking sleeve on a hardcover exterior. Remove the sleeve and you've got a neat little collage of Kirby designs throughout the years. Interestingly, there appears to be a code for Team Kirby Clash Deluxe on the packaging. I think it's region specific though, so I probably won't be having much use for it anyway. The first part of the book houses main illustrations, filled with full artwork from games, events, merchandise, and even the anime.
Yeah.
There's also art for the 20th anniversary event, and this goes with pretty much every piece of full artwork Nintendo has ever produced, but I just really love the detail and effort put into most of these. Moving on, we have the main attraction, Game Visuals, a gigantic collection of artworks from Kirby's 25-year history.
God, like I love the simple style of
the Game Visuals, a gigantic collection of art.
These are just good. Look at those enemies designs. Just perfect, dude. Straight to the point.
From Kirby's 25-year history.
Oh, that Poppy Bro. Old Poppy Bro design's precious. Okay.
There's illustrations, sprites, backgrounds, and even concept art, giving you a pretty neat insight into the development of some of the character designs, mostly for the newer games, such as Queen Sectonia or the Robobot armor. Huh, apparently Magalor used to look kinda like Haltman. Neat. Now, the 25th anniversary encyclopedia also included most of these artworks, but this artwork is definitely more simplistically designed and clean looking, and it really highlights how the art style in the series has evolved and mutated over the years. There's even draft sketches of official art, giving you a behind-the-scenes look at the illustration process, or in the case of Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, the crafting process.
Oh yeah, like the claymation and Rainbow Curse was very solid.
Near the end, there's a hefty collection of miscellaneous artwork used in various merchandise.
Why is there like 4 minutes left.
as well as the logos
It's like,
and
I feel like I'm
boxes for the
jumping like super fast through this.
games. It's definitely a robust collection of artwork, and if some of them haven't been found on the internet yet, someone should definitely upload high.
Oh, this one's good. Like the old, the old Dr. Kirby design. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Upload high-resolution scan
Cyborg Waddle Dees. That one's good. Planet Robot concept art is like whack.
them someday. If I were to nitpick though, I know that this is a Japan-exclusive art book, but I think it wouldn't hurt if they included a little bit from the American side of things, you know, just a little bit. After
Did the localization have American Kirby in there? That would have been sick.
we have the aptly titled Goods Illustrations, consisting of artwork from the Hypernova of Japan-exclusive Kirby events and merchandise, like the 20th anniversary concert, Kirby Cafe, and Poo 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 Train, just to name a few. There's a really large variety here, with some that I've never even seen before since they're all Japan-exclusive. There's even design sketches for some of the merchandise, like plushes, gashapon, and even licensed
I
manga.
like that shot with the Gashwan toys.
Know that somewhere out there a really dedicated Kirby fan probably has all of these.
I have that cover plate now. I got that Kirby cover plate for the Neo 3DS now. It looks nice.
I just realized that Waddle Dee has a mustache. I don't want to think into the implications of that too deeply, so I guess I'll just roll with it. Comic Sans! There's Comic Sans in my Kirby art book! Calm down, it's okay, let's move on.
Don't say it.
Lastly, there's the extra contents, which is actually the most interesting part of this art book. First, you have a bunch of celebratory drawings from HAL Laboratory staff, which were showcased at the Japan-exclusive Kirby Museum in 2016. They're definitely heartwarming additions to the book, but what comes next are actually never-before-seen designs for the prototype of Kirby's Dreamland,
this one's
then
good.
titled Twinkle Popo.
This is a good addition. I don't know if Twinkle Popo ever it has not been released somehow. But having having prototype stuff from that is pretty nice.
There's the preliminary box art, and there's even concept arts for the original stage list. You have Green Greens, Silk Falls, Elder Woods, Air Fortress, Float Islands, Bubbly Clouds, and finally, Heat Palace.
Yeah, these are like concept art for the original game.
It's definitely intriguing to see the original themes and designs and look at how things have changed since then. There's also a list of concepts for unused abilities in Kirby's Adventure. Did you know Kirby was supposed to cross-dress, control a satellite, summon a giant monster, and throw grenades?
I'm pretty sure YouTube actually demonetized this video for a while. So maybe I should not have put that scene in. It's back to normal now, but yeah, I think this scene actually caused YouTube to actually demonetize this for a while.
Overall, I'd say that this is a really solid art book. It's simplistic but to the point, and offers a great look at how the art style in the Kirby series has changed over its many games.
I actually have I actually uploaded like a alternate version of the video. Do I still have that? Oh, I don't think I think I removed the link. I still had like an alternate version of the video where I just removed that joke and was like, I think YouTube demonetized this because of this scene, so I just removed it. Sorry guys, and I just put Vrum on the screen.
Merchandise, which is befitting of its title. If you're a die-hard Kirby fan, then this is definitely a worthwhile purchase. And even then, if you're still doubting if you get your money's worth out of this, there's 2 whole pages of doodles by Kirby himself. I mean, at this point, if you're still not convinced, then you're dead inside.
Good point.
And there we have it, the Kirby Art and Style Collection, a fantastic art book and a great way to cap off the series' 25th anniversary. It's out now, and if you're interested, consider checking it out. And if you already own it, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it in the comments below. That's all for now, so until next time, MVBBY, and here's to 25 more years of our favorite Pink Puff.
We're like 5 years in.
Hey yo, this video is affiliated with Kirby Informer, which is a great place to get all the latest updates on new Kirby games, such as Battle Royale and Star Allies, as well as a really great and welcoming community that shares the same love for the Pink Puff. You can check out their social media accounts in the description below, which share a lot of amazing Kirby content, as well as join their Discord server to discuss and share fan content with Kirby fans all over the world. I also show up there every now and then, so that's cool, I guess. Anyway, the Kirby community is probably one of the most wholesome communities I've ever seen, so if you're a Kirby fan, then go and check Kirby Informer out.
Old Twitter.
You won't regret it. Trust me. With that...
Yeah, they're still around. They're still around. Just cool. I know the owner. They're a sweet person. She's a sweet person. Yeah. I'm still in the Discord, actually. I was... yeah. That was the Kirby art book. Are we prepared? I'm gonna give you guys a break to like before we head on to the end of 2017, the last video of 2017. You know the one. Is it classic? I have no idea. I got a lot to say. I don't know if I have a lot to say actually. I got something to say. Where do I begin? So I did a face review. I did a face review in this video. I don't know why I picked now to do it. Kind of weird. I just tried to make it as casual as possible, and it worked. It's fine. This video was my first face review. Like, if you looked at my older videos, sometimes in the reflections you can see fake shapes of my face, but that's about it. I'll get to that. I'll talk more about what happened with Meme Run 2 and my plans for it later. I'll tell you more about it later. Like, after the video's over or something, maybe. After this video is over, I'll tell you about Meme Run 2. I know it exists. I'll spoil right now. I've played it once. I'll say more about that after this video.
Hey, as we close out 2017, I figured I'd do my avatar update a bit earlier than usual, so I added in glasses to more of...
I got glasses! Well, actually, no. I put glasses on my avatar. I've had glasses since 2004. But, I don't know why I checked until now to add glasses, but, like, the glasses look nice. They're fitting. I can't imagine this is the glasses era.
My actual look, since I'm actually going to be making on-screen appearances in my videos from now on.
Yeah, I just feel like I kind of wanted to do, like, on-screen appearances. Because I feel like it just gave more opportunities for jokes. Like the later skits you see in the later core videos do, like I had more on-screen camera segments, including the next video that I'm working on actually. So I feel like it's kind of a cooler way to flex to you know, be more creative with the stuff I'm making instead of just having regular screen.
Well then, I sure hope what I'm about to cover is so great that it justifies me being on camera for the first time.
What an introduction. What a way to kick things off, dude. That was just great. Have you ever looked out the vast horizon, admiring this world and all the wonderful things that exist in it? And then thinking to yourself, in this amazing and beautiful universe, why did Meme Run had to... Oh yeah, so, for this shot, my Wii U is normally hooked up in my living room. Before this, like, during the filming of this video, my Wii U was hooked in my living room, and this is my separate room, so I had to, like, haul the entire Wii U into my room to film this. Just a tidbit, but, like, the view is just off-screen on the ground in this shot. Just thought I'd share it.
Alright, let's slow things down a bit here and take a trip back to 2014. The Wii U's signs of failure were beginning to show after a drought of quality software between its launch and 2013, outside of Nintendo's once-in-a-while offerings. But 2014 marked an attempt to reverse that trend, with more popular titles being released, like Mario Kart 8.
Oh yeah, this was me reusing the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe footage from, I think, the Joy-Con World video? I'm not sure.
Super Smash Bros. And do I need to say that that year's E3 might be one of Nintendo's best? We got the announcements of big games like Splatoon, Super Mario Maker, our first glimpses at Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Star Fox Zero, the introduction of Amiibo, Pac-Man and Mies were confirmed for Smash Bros., and all topped off with one of Nintendo's most hilarious presentation skits to date.
Come on, Reggie, give us Mother 3! How about this instead?
In a time where
E3 2014 was pretty dang good, actually.
very little people bought the Wii U because they thought it was a pricey add-on for the Wii, these announcements brought hope to the Nintendo fans who own one, as they solidified the fact that despite its low sales, they can still look forward to quality software being released. And then Meme Run showed up.
Rated E for Illuminati.
All this is uncensored, by the way, so, you know.
Meme Run is the most dank game on the Wii U. I've learned how to get swag points from Big Lay by harnessing the Illuminati's memes and 360 no-scoping scrubs.
Okay, I'm not saying that this game single-handedly put the final nail on the Wii U's coffin. There's loads of other factors in the why it failed, but the internet had basically a bit of a freakout when it was announced in September of 2014 by Ninja Pick Studios, an indie studio led by one college student named Jordan Schutz, who has been developing games since he was 16. And yeah, Meme Run isn't Jordan's first offering if you haven't realized. Prior to that, his studio released the IQ Test on the Wii U eShop, a bare-bones low-budget impossible quiz-type game, as well as other simple games like Tiny Birds for other platforms. Surprisingly, he's also made educational software such as an HTML and CSS programming tutorial.
So I'll talk more about Jordan Schutz's reaction to my video at the end, but I'll say that he has watched this video, obviously, considering the views that this video got.
That's actually being adopted by the University of California, Riverside, so clearly this guy knows what he's doing. He's passionate about game development, attends developer conferences and meetups, and is hoping to support his education.
Like nothing against the guy. Like he's been developing games since he was 16. I cannot do that. Like no offense to the guy. He's doing a good job at making games. Just saying that right now. Just saying that, you know, Meme Run might not be the best topic for a game. This is my subjective opinion.
His hobby, so good for him. But out of all the possible game ideas in the world, why would he choose? In an interview with Nintendo News, Jordan says that the game's primary inspiration is from the Montage Parody subreddit, which, as the name suggests, is a subreddit all about editing videos in comedic ways, aka agentic memes. What memes, you ask? Well, we'll get to that in a moment, but suffice to say, people were not buying this game's concept, and are even appalled that this game was able to proudly bear Nintendo's seal of quality. Jordan only had one thing to say: most of the people criticizing Meme Run secretly enjoy it, but just don't want to admit it. So then, let's take a look at the actual game itself.
Well, here we go. Meme
I think
Run
this is my
by
legit
Ninja
first
Pick
reaction.
Studios. Let's do this. Oh god. Whoop. Oh,
So, Meme Run, a procedurally generated endless runner where you control a troll-faced stick figure as he runs across a landscape of Lennies, accumulating swag points, all the while all kinds of memes.
This is the only time you're hearing those terms come out of my mouth.
Litter the screen as a means of distraction. Air horns, wombo combos, the Illuminati. Look, I'm not gonna dissect each and every reference in this game, since I'm not Know Your Meme, and taking apart memes is about as much fun as working Dota 2, so let's just get down to the fundamentals.
Funny, but yeah, that is like a main point. I didn't want to just, you know, make a video about Meme Run where it's like, oh, I understand that reference. That reference is to what meme? I kind of just wanted to like judge the game for what it is. I feel like the same I could probably be said for a Meme Run 2 video if I were to make one, but I said we'll get there when we get there. It's kind of more of like a objective judgment of the game. Trying to be trying to be objective. As an endless runner, how does it play? I was kind of going for that angle.
You can jump to cross gaps, slide to go past ceilings, and yeah, that's it. There's also an alternate mode added in as part of a later update where you can play as Bigley, a character based on the Ridley is too big meme, with advice animals in the background, but in the end, at the most basic level, Meme Run is a generic endless runner with all sorts of screen distractions and blaring noises. And to be honest, I'll give it to Jordan. I don't think I've ever seen a runner game where the primary obstacle is literally designed to distract you and cause your death. But with these kinds of memes inserted into it, it's just deliberately designed to be annoying. And yes, you're encouraged to grab these pickups as they're technically power-ups that add a modifier to your score count, but still, I doubt anyone will find a lot of fun in constantly dying over and over to annoying and dated internet jokes. And don't even get me started on the Miiverse community. When Meme Run was announced, Jordan became a verified user on Miiverse, which allowed him to post on special pages and advertise his games, which definitely attracted more attention to Meme Run. While Miiverse has been shut down, the posts in Meme Run community were definitely something to say the least.
Wow. Have all these been archived? I think they have been. So,
I mean, Jordan and his friends definitely got a kick out of making and playing the game, so good for them. And you could argue that the whole point of this game is to stay focused despite all these loud, obnoxious distractions, but even if you look at the basic core gameplay, there are still a lot of places that are unpolished. The controls get unresponsive, especially—
Bo Blacks, I believe, was the guy who first made a video on Meme Run back when it released. Kind of did like a live thing, going through the Miiverse page, looking at posts and playing the game live when it released. I think he was the first person. Wait, was it? I'm not sure. Like, there are a bunch of people around that time who looked at the Miiverse page of Meme Run, since I never got the chance to do that because, you know, Miiverse is dead. So
when you drop down to a ledge and jumping across gets nearly impossible, and I've counted several times where it literally passed through the floor and died. The thing is, even if what you're looking for is a cheap, basic, endless runner where all you do is jump at the right time, the Wii U eShop has so many better alternatives. Don't pick this mess. At a price of $5, Meme Run is absolutely
ripping
not
it apart.
Worth it. It is simply a testament to the lack of quality control on the Wii U eShop, which is where most of the controversy surrounding it was targeting. Look, I'm all good with new indie developers trying their best to develop their first game and getting it published on a Nintendo platform. It must be a dream come true for them to publish their games on a Nintendo console. But A, Jordan has clearly had development experience, B, Meme Run is deliberately made to be low quality, and C, the fact that Nintendo approved a duct-taped amalgamation of internet memes to be
I love how they approved that genre. I thought that was like a preset thing. But apparently not. I keep zooming in. Whoops.
The online store is simply head-scratching to many. Even Jordan responded to this by saying in his interview, "Nintendo approved my title since they realized I'm targeting an untapped market and I'm providing a title that is
definitely
new and innovative." Yeah, I won't be surprised if he exaggerated things a bit. It wasn't until the creator of the Troll Face filed a takedown notice for the use of his creation without permission that Nintendo finally realized, oh yeah, internet memes contain all sorts of copyrighted material. Also, there's Illuminati references in this game. Anyway, after that takedown notice, Meme Run disappeared from the Wii U eShop without a trace. Jordan tried to bring the game to Steam Greenlight, which ended in a complete failure, and then released a different game for the Wii U in 2016 called Bigley's Revenge, a shooter where you shoot Bigleys with more meme references. Yay.
Apparently this day
Breaking news!
you know.
Bigley and Cucumber Dog have joined the Illuminati to rid the world of dank memes.
Needless to say, after the Meme Run fiasco, people were getting sick that they were being charged real money to buy another poorly made meme fest. And then afterwards, Ninja Studios just kind of faded into the darkness, and they haven't had a new release since. But hey, Bigley's Revenge is still on the Wii U eShop as of this video.
It is still up, I think, actually. If you look it up right now, I think it is.
Please don't buy it, are you out of your mind? So, what's next for Jordan Shoots and Ninja Studios? Well, who knows? I certainly hope they learn from this experience and use their development skills to make games with proper effort placed in them.
Look, okay.
Hope they learn.
Nintendo didn't allow me creative freedom with Meme Run due to legal concerns. I could do so much more on PC. He took that to heart.
This experience and used their development skills to make games with proper effort placed in them, but perhaps they'll continue to go along the meme-infested path for all the publicity, even though there are much better ways to pay for your tuition while also benefiting your customers. As for Nintendo, hopefully their quality standards have been raised since then. Sure, you'll still get the occasional bombs like Room in the Night Sky on the Switch, but I'm sure we won't be seeing anything remotely close to the terrible designs of Meme Run.
Calculator is on the Nintendo Switch eShop for $9.99. Yeah, Big Lee's Revenge is still there. Switch eShop? That's a whole different story.
For now, it'd be best if this game was simply left to be forgotten in the sands of time. Which it was going to be, but then I made this video, so shoot.
Anyway, that's Meme Run, the Wii U eShop release that angered the internet. Let's just hope that this will be the last time that we will see dank memes being thrown together into a sloppy package and then sold on Nintendo's online stores. Let's hope. And with that, I'll catch you guys later in my next video. Don't forget to rate this video 8 out of 8. No bait, mate.
I think that ending was originally supposed to be like way longer, but thankfully I cut it short. Okay, Meme Run. So this isn't actually, this wouldn't be the last time I did like a weird eShop release core video. I kind of feel like the video on PDI Check would have been like my spiritual successor, quote unquote, to this video. But yeah. Okay, so before we move on to the next video, oh man, okay, next video is Virtual Boy. Okay, I'll address the elephant in the room. Meme Run 2. So actually, did Jordan just leave a comment in this video? I don't think he did. Okay, I mean, I'm not sure if he did. I think he did. But if he did, I probably would have pinned it. Wouldn't I? I don't know. Okay, anyway, he saw the video. I know that. Oh, it's gonna be like hell to sort through all these comments because this video blew up. I have to like. Oh yeah, the video length is. It's definitely it was coincidence. Come on, anyway, Jordan shoots to watch the video. He enjoyed it. He enjoyed it despite how much I ripped into his game because he probably knows what he's getting into. And Meme Run 2, so I'm not sure who here has like learned a lot about this game because this game is already out. Meme Run 2 is already out. It's on Steam. I think it's only on Steam, thank God. I think if you've seen some videos of streamers playing Meme Run 2, I think you've probably seen them like unbox a kind of like package that Jordan sent to them with like some sort of Meme Run 2 quote unquote memorabilia. So he offered to send that package to me, and I did accept it. So I got sent a Meme Run 2 package for free, obviously, and I unboxed it. I filmed the whole thing just in case I was gonna make a video on the thing. The footage is still on my computer. I have not released it yet because I was planning on potentially. I might stress that here. I was gonna potentially partner with another YouTuber, actually collab with a YouTuber that you might have heard of, but like I'm not gonna say it. I want to keep it secret. But potentially collab with a YouTuber to make a video on that. But then it kind of like hit me after the novelty of it being on a Nintendo. No, it's not Scott the Woz. It's not Scott the Woz. Like, okay. Anyway, basically like a YouTuber contacted me and was like, "Oh yeah, I leave it to you guys to speculate." But it kind of like dawned on me that like after the novelty of it being on a Nintendo platform was gone, I was kind of had to like just review it for the sake of obligation because I already made a video on Meme Run 1, and that wasn't exactly something I wanted to really do because you know what my recent core video topics are, just something like interesting. And of course I know like, making a video on Meme Run 2 that can probably get decent enough views, but I don't want to just like, boot up the game and it's like, oh, here's these meme references. It still sucks, and then that's the end of the video. Like, I don't want to spend. I don't have a backstory to dive into. There's no like history. Maybe I could like check in on Jordan, see what he's up to these days besides this game. Like that's about it. Maybe give some updated opinions on Meme Run, but I don't. Either way, I did get sent, like, besides the package, I got sent a copy of the game. I have it on Steam. I've tried it a few times. It's Meme Run 2. I won't say that. I won't elaborate that much on my opinions in case I ever want to make a video on it. Also, yeah, if I'm not gonna spoil what I got in the package in case some of you guys haven't seen it yet. But you can see other people unbox their stuff, like if you want to spoil yourself. But trust me, my reaction was weird. Other than that, yeah. Meme Run 2 was a thing. I got sent a thing. It was kind of weird. Maybe it was kind of weird that like I didn't make anything else after being sent this package. Like maybe I felt like, oh, maybe I should actually put out a video. But then that didn't really come around yet. So right now it is still on the list of like ideas that maybe I might do, maybe I might not do. Like, honestly, maybe it could be on a second channel. If anything, if all else, like if it doesn't work out at the end, maybe I can just put it on a second channel. But yeah, it's a thing that might happen in the future. I don't want to make promises, but there is footage I've recorded. There is some footage I've recorded just on the off chance that I make it, which was back in like 2019. When did Meme Run 2 release? Let me check my like. Let me check my recording folder. Yeah, it was back in 2020. So I did film something. I did post it here. Okay. Here is some exclusive content. Are you guys ready? Just to prove it. Just to prove that I have recorded footage. Here is one screen cap. I'll only show this for now, but I did unbox this. And the contents, if you want to find out for yourself, go ahead and do that. I will release this eventually. But yeah. That will be it for the meme run.